Good evening, everyone. It is Professor Oleander again, and I wanted to do a quick video today. This is not on my main save. This is on my testing bed, and the reason why is there was a update for Railroader. There's actually been two updates today. Came out about the first one came out about 3 hours ago, and the second one came out not a little bit over an hour ago. Uh, I wanted to go over because it's a fairly decent sized update today. I also wanted to say that by the time you end up seeing this video, I should be over the 2,000 subscriber mark, and I just wanted to say thank you to everybody that has subscribed to the channel. It does give me some motivation to keep doing it. I know I'm not the greatest at staying active as far as updating go or uploading goes. It largely has to do with just my schedule, and then the last couple of weeks between work and really I just wanted to take a break from Railroader because I was having a lot of crashes, which is something that the developers know about. There is a problem with the game not wanting to behave with higher end cards. I'm using a 3060 Ti now, so there is a little bit of an issue there, and it seems like most people that have RTX cards are having issues with the game. The developers don't know exactly why, but just seeing here where my train is. There he is. Okay. They don't know why yet. It's something that they're looking into. They're trying to exactly pin down it. I've been submitting my logs pretty regularly to them to help them try and figure out what is causing the issue. But let's go over the patch notes as we sit here for Hemingway or we sit here at Hemingway, I should say, for what will be the biggest update that came in this one. And we'll talk about it last as the train comes in here in a few minutes. One of the things that got added was the interactive headlight controls to engines and observation cars. If you will recall, try saying that 3 times fast. The observation car. By the way, I think I said this. This isn't my main save. This is my test bed, which is aptly called, if I can remember the button, Murphy's Railroad. This is where I just destroy things for reasons. So we want to go to passenger cars, and it should be the Palace Observation, and we're just going to stick that guy right there. We want to make sure we set the handbrake because I think it is a little bit of downhill there. So we'll go up inside the car, and there should be, yeah, there it is right there. So now you can adjust your headlight that way, and I don't know if they adjusted it out here too. Nope, you got to go inside and do it. But yeah, they added a headlight switch for the car because it was borked before, and that's basically just a okay, they added their own logo on there, Landed Locomotive Works. It looks like just a regular pile switch, but the observation light, or the headlight on the observation car, does actually work now. Previously you had to go into the console and enable it through a console command, but then you couldn't turn it back off. Let's get back over here. So that's been fixed, and the engine's got one too. Adjusted how loading industries order cars should result in fewer unnecessary cars. I don't 100% know what that entails. Fewer unnecessary cars. I think it's just the logic in what cars they order for the day. I think I'd mentioned it in another video where if you have the interchange get serviced twice, what would end up happening is if you've already serviced for that day, that industry, chances are if you get the servicing done before the interchange goes again and they use their cars, then you will more than likely end up getting another set of cars. So I think that might have something to do with it. Yes, that is a diesel that is coming. No, do not ask me why. It was top of the list, and I just grabbed an engine. Now I didn't hear the horn, so, and it could have been further off. Looks like he's going to split it right here in the middle. That's exactly what he's going to do. I should have probably pulled him up to see what he's doing. Okay, brakes are on. Stop the ding-a-ling. Thank you. We get a message saying that he's arrived. No, this is not Route Manager. This is now stock in the game. So while we're here, we'll look at it. So over in the Orders tab, if you remember when I was using Route Manager, which is an add-on mod that you could get, and it's basically done this same functionality. Adam said he had been wanting to add this for a while. This is basically Route Manager, except it's in the base game now. So to enable it, what you would do is you would have some passenger cars on a locomotive. Unfortunately, it's a god-awful diesel. You would go over here to your passenger cars, and you just select what stations you want. Onto your passenger cars, they've actually changed. This is copy to coupled. It used to say copy to coupled. If you have passenger cars attached to a locomotive, you just select which stations, you copy them to all the other cars, and then when you go up to the locomotive, you go into your Orders tab and you say Road, basically it will say it will operate as long as there are coaches attached to the locomotive. And it will go to the stations, and just like in Route Manager, it will keep going until it either runs out of fuel, or you put a fusee in front of it to make it stop, or you tell it, you put it back into manual control. I think that they are going to adjust this where it says station stops, stop when passing. They may, let's see, when stations are checked on passenger trains, AR reform, okay. I guess it's just telling you what the status is. And right now, it's at a station stop, Hemingway Station. Now, the big thing, and this is something that I know I have talked about in videos in the past. What is waiting here? Andrew. So I don't want to be wasting fuel, even though it is a dirty diesel. Let's just go ahead and do all these down to Andrews. That way we'll at least have somebody riding. Somebody that can ride on the maiden voyage. The big thing that got added, and this is something that I had talked about in previous videos, I know for sure, is, let's see, this guy right here. Minimum stop duration. You see the minimum game time that an AI engineer will stop at a station before continuing. I have wanted timetables, and this is the first step to timetables. Now, they may set a maximum, but the minimum amount of time that they will stop here is 15 minutes. That's in-game time, so you can run it 2 to 1, and it will stop for 15 minutes. In-game time. The thing that I would like to see added onto this is, in Route Manager they added where you could wait till full, which could definitely be a possibility. I mean, you can set this all the way up. I think it goes up to 30 minutes. I thought it went up to an hour. The way that I wrote my timetable out is 15 minutes, so that's what I've got this guy set to. And then you can say here where it says auto engineer passenger stops, this is in case if you don't want to use the in-game AI engineer for passenger stops, if you still want to keep using Route Manager, which I assume that the guys that did Route Manager are probably still going to support it because there's more things that they can do with it. You can uncheck this box. I'm going to leave it checked. Hopefully that didn't mess him up. It did not. Um, you can uncheck it if you don't want to use it and you want to use Route Manager. That's fine. As far as I know, it still works. I think Route Manager is going to have to be updated for this, though, because it changed. The last update changed the box. And then the crossing signal, some people were complaining about having trains in the background blowing for crossing, so you can disable that here, too. And like normal, go back to low. The default is medium. I don't want medium. I want low. I'm trying to think. Ignore some of this stuff because, well, not this one. When was it? No, it's not this one. It's something else. Let's see if there's anything else in here. Oh, I need to make sure that okay, the route to clear. Oh, and the other thing that got added was it will announce when it arrives. I'm pretty sure it announces when it leaves as well. The AI on this handles it better than Route Manager's AI does. So in Route Manager, what would happen is when they would depart a station, it would have to go in one direction a little bit, even if it was the wrong way. It had to go a little bit in one direction to figure out which direction it was actually going, and then it would pull forward. It was a bit annoying. This one does not do it. I think he wrote it into the code where it keeps track of what direction it was going and what station it is at and what the next station is in that direction. And so it will just, as soon as it goes to leave, it will boogie on. Another thing that's missing out of this that Route Manager added was the forced departure. There's no way to force departure in this unless I think I go back and I just set it to 0. Set the time to wait to 0, it would probably go ahead and leave. So while we're waiting for that, I'm going to go over here and we'll just wait until he leaves, and I'll go over the rest of the patch notes. So we just talked about the interactive headlight, the industry cars, added a whistle volume preference, so that would be up here. You can see that's been added into it. Added AI setting to disable crossing signal. We just talked about that. Added VSync and limit FPS, which that should be here. I don't see the limit FPS. There's VSync. Particles are still standard. Let me see. Oh, added VSync in place of limit. Okay. So it didn't change the box. It just, this used to be limit to 50 FPS or 60 FPS. Now they added VSync. AI now announces low fuel levels, which you don't see it on this one. Actually, we can do this. Give me a locomotive. Give me something that's not going to make a lot of noise. We'll pick this one, and we'll put the handbrake on. And what I want to do is, this is 600T, so I will go into the console here, and I will say, let's see, set load of MR600T. We'll just say water to 500 gallons. I don't know. I don't know what the number is. I guess it has to cross the threshold. Let's just see. Alright, so let's do this then. Let's do 1,001. It's either 1,000 or it's 500 or something like that. Let's see if it, not 1,000. So we'll do one more. Let's do 501. Just making sure I didn't stop recording. I gotta remember to quit using my number pad. No, it's not 501. Maybe it's 100. I'll try one more. We'll try 100 and see. No. Anyway, it does call outs for it. I actually had some locomotives that were low on water. They were actually completely out of water. And they gave me a notification. Removed implicit gamepad movement mining to preset to prevent unexpected input camera drift. Instead, please use Steam's controller support to bind your gamepad. So apparently, that's something that I really hadn't heard talked about a whole lot. I think they are going to support gamepads for this game. Fixed AI order panel showing track speed and not lower ordered speed limit. So I shouldn't have got rid of that train. Just place the Atlantic back down here again. So what would happen is if I had an engine here that was set for 10 miles per hour, it's going to say the orders are 10 miles per hour after it makes a whole bunch of noise. What it used to say was it would say like track speed 35 or whatever. Now it just tells you that the orders were 10. At least that is the way that I am interpreting that one. Yeah, it fixed it showing track speed and not the lower ordered limit. Fixed Andrew's signal appearing on CTT panel when Andrew's signals have not been purchased. That I actually did run into on... No, I did not run into that yet. I'm thinking of something different. So apparently that was a little bug. Fixed Wilmot Station icon position, teleport location. So let's just look at the map here. I know that they have had to change some of these because they were in the wrong position. It looks like they just changed the vector image for the map. But Wilmot, fixed Walker branch, trestle alignment, regraded the bottom portion. So let's go over to Walker, and the trestle is like right there. So let's see what the grade is here now. So it's 3.1. Said he adjusted the lower portion, which this is the lower portion here. So that was a 3.9 or 3.1 and a 9 degree. Oh, did it always have the? I guess it did have the curvature. So it's a 3.1 and a 3.9. So that got adjusted. I never really paid attention to it, to be honest. Next on the list, fixed high tree density causing trees to excessively encroach on the right-of-way. That was a problem, but like I said, I've had I literally cannot go up to tree density of 2 because it will crash. If I do it, within about 30 seconds, the game will crash, so I'm not going to mess with it. Car loaders no longer load cars not owned by your railroad. So it says coal loaders. It's talking about the ones that you own. What would happen is, we'll just go back to Whittier, because that's the closest one. Actually, Bryson's closer, but we'll go to Whittier. What would happen is, so let's say, well, I'll show you. Give me something a little different. That one, and then give me a coal car. That guy. That one right there. Okay. So what would happen? Let's say you've got your little locomotive here, and you've got a coal car that's behind it, and for whatever, is there coal in this? There should be coal in this. Okay, there's 1,000 pounds in there. And for whatever reason, you've got your chute down, so that way all you gotta do is pull right up underneath it. So you're going forward, and you get a little overzealous with the throttle, and then you're like, oh crap, I'm gonna overshoot, so you slam on the brakes, and I slammed on the brakes too much, and you end up sliding over to where your car that may have been bound for Robinson Gap coal ends up underneath the coal, underneath your chute. And what can happen is, or what would happen is, the coal would go into the car. It would mess up the logic for when you took the car to the mine to actually load it, and then the car becomes bugged out and you can't use it. You basically have to go into Sandbox and delete it. So that's been fixed. And likewise, they fixed an issue where partially loaded cars at... Okay, he's departing now. So there you go. There's your notification that the train's departed. Let's see here. Yeah, fixed Robinson Gap not loading cars if they already contain some coal, likely via prior item. So if it happened where there is an accident where something happens, the game glitches or whatever, and you accidentally get a little bit of coal in a car that's bound for Robinson Gap, the coal mine will still load the car. Fixed an issue affecting some milestones which require cars ballast. That's a new one. I hadn't really heard about that one. Fixed offline passenger players and multiplayer counting towards total. Again, that's something I haven't run into. Overhead camera no longer stops following the car with a simple click. That was one of the most annoying bugs in this game. And I don't even think it was a bug. I don't know why I went into first person. It wasn't a bug. I think it was just something that they overlooked. So if I select this guy right here, or if I follow him, what used to happen, and we'll just get him moving. What used to happen was if I just clicked, just single clicked anywhere, didn't matter if I dragged or not, it would stop following just like that. And I did that on purpose. It was super annoying. You had to be really careful, like especially if you were running this in the background and then you went to click on it. You went to click in the windows, that way you could do something. If you clicked on the window, you would stop following whatever you were. It was a big pain. The B65, the big Berkshire, is now rated for large curves. I think previously it was medium. And the D46, which is the decapod, is now medium. I believe previously it was large. I know that there were some discussions about the decapods being able to handle medium curves. I didn't really get in on the argument. Those decapods were smaller and they had blind drivers, so it's not the end of the world. Every locomotive in game can go everywhere. There is no... You can't take a large locomotive, quote-unquote large locomotive, through a small curve. It just affects how fast you can go through the curve. So, something like the K28T could go through the curve, go through an XS curve faster than a Berkshire can. So that's all that means. So that was the first update. There you see, he's arrived. That was the first update. The second update, and I haven't even ridden through this one yet. Read through this, not ridden. Reduced damage on collision, particularly at speeds below 10 miles an hour. That was an absolute pain in the butt when you would have a car, and we'll just use our guinea pig here. Like I said, Murphy's Railroad. We'll just move this forward. What used to happen, and I think I showed it in the very last video where I was switching out Robinson coal. I think I coupled it like 5 or 6 miles per hour and took like 2% damage on an empty car. So what happens, we'll just get it up to about 5. Alright, there's 5.7. There you see it doesn't take damage anymore. Actually, yeah. There you see the cars don't take damage. Particularly at speeds below 10 miles an hour. So you can do some rough couplings and not get it. When we see the the next video that I do on my railroad, you're going to see that my safety rating's down. Part of that is because I was coupling with AI. Part of it is me because I did have a couple of hard couplings, but I have kind of said that yeah, this is way too overkill for this. We're not moving eggs in fine china. We're moving, I mean, finished furniture and stuff like that. That's one thing, but like coal cars, really? You're not gonna hurt the load. You're not gonna hurt the car either. Um, AI yard mode, adjust behavior when coupling to a cut. So let's try that since we're right here at it. We'll uncouple and we'll move forward. We'll send him right there. And then we'll put him into, oh god, they have changed everything. So this is, oh, so that's new. So copy to way, oh, this is an undocumented change. Copy auto waybills to coupled. Where did auto waybill come from? Cycle waybill. Cycle waybill to coupled. Yeah, flip this car's waybill. Okay. So that's been added. This was here. Cycle waybill was already there. Copy auto waybills to couple. Copy automatic waybill assignments to coupled cars. Okay. So they've changed all this. There was just, it was cycle and copy to coupled. So these two were there. This one was the one that was added. No, that's cycle waybill. Okay, so this cycles everything. This cycles everything that's in the consist. This copies to everything in the consist, and then this just copies the car. That is a big quality of life change, and let me show you why. This is something that I ran into when I started running a lot of pulpwood cars. So for the sake of argument, we're going to spawn in said pulpwood cars, if I can find them. Pulpwood racks. So we want, I don't know. That's plenty. We'll just put pulpwood graphics in here and put that on there. That way they don't move away. So it used to be, so let's say that I want to set the empties and take them to Walker Lower pulpwood. The way that it used to be, and this was where it was such a pain. You see how you've got Walker pulpwood here, and let's say that because I switch it up, sometimes the pulpwood goes to Connolly, sometimes it goes to Walker, and then Graham County is going to be coming into the mix soon. So it's like you ended up with a mix-up. And you know that I have a lot of pulpwood cars. So I would have some of them that were bound for Parsons, some of them were bound for the paperboard company. When Andrews comes in, you're going to have some of them that are bound for snowboard paper or snowbird paper. And it was a mess. And the way it used to be was you had to go car by car. You could cheat it a little bit. You could get it to actually work as if when you would take them to their destination and spot them, you could just go down here and set the empties to not set and then say copy to coupled. And then what would happen is once it unloaded, and we'll just pick this car here, it would cycle and then it would go to not set. That was the first workaround. The other way was basically you could go in here and you could set your loads to, well, I don't have any contracts set on this save, but let's just say we set our empties to here, and then I can't do copy to couple because it's going to go ahead and change them all. Well, I guess I can. So it changes all of them. What would happen if I go over here and I say, no, we're going to send these over to, let's just say Graham County. Okay, so they're copied, but I have to cycle them. I have to cycle the waybill so that it will actually tell it to go that, yes, you're supposed to go to Graham County now. what used to happen was you would go in and you'd have to cycle the first car, but then you would have to go to every single car and you would have to cycle every single waybill. Just like that. You don't have to do that now because they've added a new button and they did not put it into the patch notes. Adam, and I'm just reading back through here again. I'm gonna have to put a thing in the Discord in case people have not seen it, because it apparently it didn't make the cut on the patch notes. It probably forgot it. But basically, you go in here and you say cycle coupled. Oh, cycle it again. And there you go. The whole cut cycles. That right there, that is like been the bane of my existence in the last couple of sessions that I've played in Railroader, because it is such a pain to have to go in there and do every single one of my pulpwood cars. I was getting to the point where I was like, I have to have a set that goes to Connolly, I have to have a set that goes to Walker, and I have to have a set that is going to go to Graham County. Just so I don't have to spend 10 minutes going through every car and changing that. So, you're welcome. I didn't even know about it until I pulled that up. That's how new that is. I literally had to sit here and figure that out in front of you, because it's not in the patch notes. So that's a huge quality of life thing. And like I said, I'll say something in the Discord in case people haven't caught it. Okay. Double, let's see, AIO, just behavior. Okay. We're gonna do that in just a second. Double the clickable distance for Fusee. So let's test that here. Oh wow, yeah, I would say so. I can go way down yonder. Yeah, I can just barely see it. Can I extinguish it? It's literally a pixel. So you can set them way off, but the interaction distance to remove them is still fairly short. It actually, I don't know if you can see that or not. See where the LOD changes? Right there, where it flips and goes back. Actually, let me see if even Discord is even pulling that up. Yeah, it just is. But see where the ties change? Right here where my mouse is. It's this little section from like right there to right there. See how it changes? That's the LOD. There's a circle around me right now where the LOD changes. Yeah, near about every game has it. Run 8 has it too. Run 8's is really annoying. So let's see here. If I mean, you can go way back here. And we can set a Fusee way up there. And if I hold my mouse over it, you can actually see the line is like right there where I can interact. Actually, it's not quite that far. But it is where the LOD changes, because I'm looking at the ties. And it's right there. If I can touch it, well, maybe I can touch it. It's right in that area anyway. Okay, so there's that. What's next? The P18 fixed headlight control position. I don't remember where it was. And then the C25 fixed seat order on control 0. I can't even remember what it. Oh yeah, I do remember what it was. I do remember that. Let me see if I can pull one up here. I do remember it being a little bit of an issue, and I say issues is probably not the best term for it. We want to select, and then we want to do control 0. Yeah, I think if I remember right, what was happening was you would spawn like way up here, and this is the more corrector way to spawn in. It seems like you were much further forward than you are now. So that's been fixed. So So let's see, we want to delete that. And that is the last of the changes. The only thing that we want to check is the AI copulation. So I'm going to purposely give him a bad count. I'm going to tell him that I want him in yard mode in reverse. Ah, they changed that. That'll do. So that'll do, I guess, meaning stop. I'm going to purposely give him 10 cars and see what he does. He's got it set to couple at 3 miles per hour. So we'll see if he actually couples at 3 miles an hour. They were getting a little carried away with coupling. I probably should be looking at how fast he's going. Okay, you said 4. You said 3, but you coupled at 4, but I'll allow it. That coupled in with the whole reducing the amount of damage that you take it that speeds of less than 10 miles an hour, so it's not the end of the world for that. So all in all, a good update in terms of what got added and what got fixed, and like I said, that undocumented change that we all discovered together, because I didn't even know. I really hadn't even looked through Discord to see if anybody had uncovered it. Let's go over. There's one last thing that I want to check. Let's go over to a Lurka. And what time did he stop? 14:19. He is actually going to be leaving here in about 1 minute. So let me bump him back, because I'm actually curious. Let's see, 14 minutes. Yeah, he should leave. What time? It was 14:19. So here in about 30 seconds, let's see if he leaves. So this was a good update. I didn't think there was quality of life. There really was quality of life outside of the AI engineer being able to handle passenger trains, but that cycle coupled is a godsend. I'm telling you, it was such an aggravation to have to go through and change them one by one, especially when you had 40 cars to do. I'm just gonna set that to 1. Okay, he is departed. So there you go. And we'll set it back to 15. So as my Murphy's Railroad rattle can rides off into the sunset, it is a sunset, right? He's moving south. He's off yonder way into the whatever. So as he rides off, I can't think of anything else that I need to go over. How long is this video now? 38 minutes. I wanted to make it shorter, but I wasn't expecting the car thing. So that is all there is in this update. The roadmap is out. I don't want to talk a whole lot about the roadmap. I'll talk about it in the regular videos, and the main reason is because of the roadmap didn't really cause a lot of controversy. I think people had different opinions on the direction that they think the game should go, and I mean, truth be told, I'm kind of okay with the direction the game is heading right now. I don't have an issue with that. And again, I'll talk about it in the video, but I'll link it down in the description so that everybody can look through it and just see what they're doing. This update came a lot quicker than I thought it was going to, and it was part of the reason why I was waiting. I was hoping, I knew that there was an update somewhere out there in the wings. It looks like they might be getting into a position where they're going to be updating about once a month. It may be more than that. But anyway, I think in the main series, the main set of videos, there's probably going to be 2 more episodes in season 1, and then I will transition over into season 2. And I also have another set of videos planned, and I just have to sit down and do them. That is, it's basically going to be a set of tutorials for various things in the railroad. And that was the other thing. I was kind of waiting to see how they were going to do certain things in game that don't require to have mods. Because I don't want to have, well, if you stand on your head this way and do this and, you know, spin around and pat your head and rub your stomach at the same time, you can make it do this thing. So those will, I'm not going to give you a date because I don't know exactly when I'm going to do them yet. It's just going to depend on how fast I push out updates. That being said, the short video that's now turned into a long one, that is all that I have for this one. The next video should be, I'm hoping, here within the next week. So I will see you all in the next one.